I glued it on to the back, and I'm still working on it, so. But I don't know how many I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna do it. I shared this with my pod over here, Aziza and Julie on Thursday. And got some real interesting feedback and information. Actually look at the bottom for to know how to cure the ink without doing kind of steam fixes. So I'm not a printmaker, but I had done printmaking in college and up in Percy Martin's WD workshop. And because I came up during the time of the new thing back in the 70s, and I was around all those people, I'm gonna be in the documentary they're doing on printmaking. It came to my house because I knew Michael Platt person and old Percy Martin and all these other people. So that's the documentary is gonna air February 7th at Montgomery County Arts Center. And then that's when I'm going to be part of the question and answer.
It's really nice. There's a trailer that is on, did we send it out? We sent it out, right?
You said you saw it on Facebook.
No, I sent it out. Yeah,
You should.
it should be in your mail. Yeah, it should be in your mail.
No, because Susan Goldman sent it to.
Yeah, we tried. Oh, yeah, we put it on. Oh, right, we put it on a mix on.
But I've been included, I'm not a printmaker, but I know all the different houses from writing. And so she's gonna put out I'll.
It might already be open. I don't know.
She's gonna put out the public and that's tomorrow. So, on that note, what I'm saying, you do your work. I write down what I want to do in life or whatever, and then I do my work and it comes to different ways. You can get it to more than one place. Different ways. My mother used to say there's more than one way to skin a cat. So there's a lot of ways to come in to meet the people, not just one, but always doing work. So this piece, this is an old piece called Ancestors in the Water that I keep. It's not quite finished. I mean, there's always something I want to do. I'm a dog, for those, I'm a dog person. I gravitated from being a thing to a dog. So, these are just things I like to share with my inventory of repertoire.
I didn't want to say that.
Yeah. You know, don't do a book that looks wonderful on the front and turn around and see. Make the back as interesting as the front.
Francine, I'm curious, how much would you charge to speak to a class of students?
How much you got?
We'll talk, because I would probably have to pay.
Whatever, yeah, but I'll think you, but yeah. Because it's creative thinking. It's a lot of ways to. I started doing quilts and sewing by hand because I actually didn't have sewing machine at the time. But irregular lines and things, that's probably the energy. That's part of my energy. That's part of it's become my signature. So it's part of my energy. And we're going to be in the infamous short Chinese plane.
You don't let us. Oh.
I didn't bring black lines in the kitty. And I brought a digital thing that I did. I haven't. Doing my work anymore. Well, yeah, I was in one show, but I created these, I was thinking of entering in Montpelier, but then I had trouble getting it entered, and then I also didn't know about printing it, but. So I did a collage of the Stankofa bird using West African fabrics. And then because Stankofa is looking back to a course, and I had a painting that I did, small painting of Timbuktu mosque. So the Mosai in Thailand, West Africa. And so I wanted an image to look back that predated the slavery. So,
Oh, you did
to represent the Somalian.
That's my favorite.
Is that a painting or a quilt?
It's digital.
Did the image of Sankofa bird?
Right, so what I did is, the blue part was the tablet, and we took a photo. The other is I did a digital representation of, these are indigo cloth and then kente. And then this is, these two are mud cloth.
So would you consider yourself a digital artist?
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Yeah, I did say digital. I mean, I also, I'll
I
show
heard
you another,
collage, I got stuck.
yeah, I'll show you another digital collage that I did.
He's gonna show you what to do because digital.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
One of the things I'm trying to tell the young folks, is bringing the live work, you want to see the real live work, because, even when my son was in high school, and I thought, oh, the digital is so cool. They told us, think not for critique, you gotta bring it.
So I did this one from a class, appropriate class that I was taking. And then some of these, some of these things are from patterns that are available in Procreate, and some of them are things that I did myself. So I found that that's a good way for you to use scraps of work that didn't quite work out. And so I just cropped something out of other work that I did. So this was a piece of a watercolor. This was a collage that I did on canvas, and then I altered the color scheme digitally.
Oops.
No.
Can you walk that up a little bit, just so they can see it for a second?
Oh, yeah, so they can see it on.
Just walk it up here. Okay,
Is that good?
yeah, that's good. And now you can go back.
Yeah, so if you have any advice for me or counsel on going to digital work or what things might be.
That's the land.
No, I'm fascinated that you, taken the images of cloth or material and created them.
Yeah.
And Sankofa is my favorite,
Oh,
yeah. I've always used that, many times, when I'm presenting my work, but it's beautiful, beautiful. Now, how long did it take you to do that?
that's a good question. I probably did it in a day. A few hours. So when I did this first one, and then I was trying to think of how to infuse it with more meaning, so then I did this Sankofa, and because I had done this, I thought about using African fabrics.
Now, how long would you do that if you were printing it out?
Because when I create the canvas, the initial canvas, that's when I set what the foundation can be. So this one This one is only 7x7.
Okay.
It's a 400 DPI.
Oh, good, 400, okay.
And then, the other one, I think, might be a little more larger. Have you printed it out? I have not printed.
You might consider, bumping it up to 600. Because if you print it out in a larger size, it's sometimes the lower DPI gets pixelated and you can't see it very well.
Like this one I did 11 by 14, but it was like 300.
Yeah, 300 is good for a computer, but if you want to print it out,
Yeah.
you might want to at least get 600 so that when you print it out in a larger size, especially 11 by 14, you don't get it pixelated.
So how big a size do you think I should be? Like, target?
What did Keely say? The bigger the better? I,
Are they vector? Or is
Yeah.
it?
It's scanned in.
Yeah.
18 by 24 posted.
Yeah, that would be a key thing to start, I think 18 by 22.
Because when I first started working with Procreate, I had a smaller iPad, or like any size. Like that Pro.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I should. Well, it's about my sketchbook.
So this is the guy you need to watch.
Okay.
No problem.
Hey.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ooh. That is.
just showing off.
Now, I think I'm going to make this a little bigger. Yeah, I think we're gonna. This is 20 by 30. I think I might go to 30. Whoa. Yeah, but, we'll see. So this is a sublimation print. Completely designed on the computer. And then I had to send it to a printer so that is, the sublimation process is ink under heat and pressure until it binds with the aluminum substrate. So this is all on aluminum. Now, what I had found, as a rule, I started framing them. But I framed them because sometimes when they came back from gallery, they would get chips on the edges. But what I had found that, like I did a piece, framed piece this morning because it was the piece I did for Brazil, the photograph for Brazil. But I found when I'm doing abstract or non-objective work, I feel that the frame encloses the piece. I don't like it. I like it just to go out. So, that is what I am doing. And when I designed this, I worked with about 12, 15 layers. And then I choose between those layers when I create. So with those 15 layers, I do 100 different pieces or more, depending on how I choose those layers. Okay. Thank you.
One question is.
Okay.
I figured rules.
Right now, at Devil House. Very nice young man. Like I said, it depends on your size. But the work is excellent. And the boxes that I gave away, that's what they should be. They are very well protected when they are shipped. And they send you a pair of gloves, so you can handle your pieces, don't need your fingerprints on them. And a little personal note, hi there. But it's a very nice school, metalmouth.com.
Are they expensive?
This is, a little under 200. But, it all depends. They have, it depends, now this is with starts with a white finish, but you can get them with a clear finish. Which is silver. So that if you want to have a sparkle in your design, it's a matter of leaving it out down to that base. So you can do all kinds of things. You can do a Christmas tree and all of those. You know, it's all kinds of things.
Now, how is the AI affecting you?
Hmm.
How is the AI affecting you?
I don't use it.
Okay.
I create all of this myself. I don't ask any software to create it.
I know you don't use it,
Yeah.
but how would it affect the competition for your original pieces?
Well, I look at some of the stuff, and I look at an artist that came in a couple of times, and she was doing the
Empress.
and it was beautiful.
Yeah,
It was beautiful. So I'm not gonna sit there and say you can't do this or you can't do that, because when you look at where art started, I mean, when they were putting on the cake walls, they didn't have computers, they didn't have painting, they didn't have oil. Well, to me, it's just another apparatus to create art. Now, if you, and I suppose that you must have some kind of skill in order to do that. But I know that there's some people who, really will not accept that. Personally, I want to see what you do with your hands. Okay, not what the machine does for you.
I know they once had what's called NPFs, and you know, they were selling those, and it was a big thing, and people were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for images, and now it's crashed.
Yeah,
It's nothing. Anybody who bought any of it, it's not worth a thing.
well, my thing is, use in the eye of the beholder.
Pretty much.
So if you like it, if you wanna pay for it, go ahead. I basically do this for me,
Okay.
and if you like it, that's fine. You can come and sit my deal. But, I love color. And I'm constantly learning things about color.
What software did you use?
I work sometimes with, Photo Plus and, another software from England. What I have to do now is, in those days, I could just buy the software. Nowadays, I have to rent it
Yeah, membership.
or pay, God all knows, but, to buy it.
You can still buy Corel.
Yeah. So, I'm looking at what I'm afraid of is that something may be new, it could be better, but yet doesn't do some of the things we need to do. That is what's bothering me. So, I'm gonna try to look at some other things we can do. But, I know that there's a whole lot out there on the AI.
Right.
And for me, it's another skill. So I'm not gonna look down on it. I was wondering about getting it sometime, not for my art, so much as to see what the software can do with my suggestions. But I like to, like I said, I'm working within the 12 to 15 layers of color and design, and I create that. And I enjoy it.
I wanted to suggest, there's a site called, Turning Art. It's, on that site, it is referred to by, corporate art buyers. So this your work, they would be very interested in. It. They would probably want it bigger, but you can show them what you've got and then see what happens. And, through that site, I know for me, I've been able, Price Waterhouse and bought work, and other, one other one, I can't talk about yet, but, you know, but, corporations will buy work off of it. So you might want to take, if you're interested in selling, definitely Turning Art. Okay, you submit it and then they'll let you know if they will put it up on their site, but it's a great site for people that are interested in selling art to corporations.
Daniel, for your last solo show, what was it again, off of, downtown, what was it, off of Pennsylvania Avenue? Didn't, majority of your pieces in that show,
Oh, my goodness, they love that work. They did.
And it's like, that was the creation series, right?
The creation series, we saw it here first.
Yep, we did.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Now it's gotta worry about, your, revolutions. Yeah, so, it all depends. Oh, you paid And I do that because then I don't have to use a print writer.
Okay. Yeah,
Hello, everybody. My name is David Ivy. So I do a lot of acrylic work for flowers, as you can see. I also like to do sunflowers. I'm sorry, I also like to do landscapes. A lot of times I'll do flowers or landscapes with like practical triangles throughout as well. These two were, well, this one was a practice piece for a larger piece that I ended up doing. This one, I'll probably incorporate into a future larger painting. I really like doing sunflowers because I have a special connection with my wife about sunflowers. And I like to try to do like an anniversary gift for her every year, every other year, with a big sunflower painting, usually 3 feet by 2 feet. And so these are just practice runs for those kinds of things. My favorite colors to work with are magenta. You can see in both of these. I also really like working with turquoise, which is presented here. I usually incorporate it into the triangle fractals that I do. What's been really interesting for this specific piece, but also will be for this one as well, is I've created 8x8 prints of them. And so you might say, this is not an 8x8 format. What I do is I cut out the sides because the printer that I use has a really hard time with accurately showing magenta. So if anyone has a printer connect with solutions to that, let me know. And so what I'll do in Photoshop is take out the magenta backgrounds and just sort of bring it down into a flat magenta color. And the printers seem to have a better time with that. And this one has sold fairly well as a print with the magenta background. I've also done turquoise and green background. It's like a triadic complementary color relationship. And those have done really well as well. So it's been fun experimenting with those. And I assume that this one will also do fairly well as well. My wife and daughter like telling me that this one looks sort of Japanese or anime like. And I assume that's because I did a little more of the dark outline, which is a fairly common thing to do in anime. So I was thinking of sort of pursuing that idea a little more. So see what my future paintings look.
very good, very good. You're copying that to Van Gogh. Well, that's the Van Gogh. Yeah.
Canvas shield. Yeah, does they have drop shipping options?
Pro Digi.
Yeah.
And so I have, I do fine art print, frame them out, roll cans, gut cans, so copies.
Actually, it's kind of want to give you guys a quick glimpse of where I recently come from in terms of doing art, a lot of abstract architecture, place art. And so, after doing so many years of this sort of art, kind of based in the dialogue of gentrification, I decided, you know, I wanted to get more figurative and more figurative based to sort of, like I was speaking earlier, to sort of offset negative sort of stereotyping I was seeing on social media. We've always had negative press of Black Americans in this country. So I guess I was triggered one or two many times and I decided, okay, tired of seeing you know, us become criminals or whether it's twerking all the time or over sexualized imagery or whatever. So I said, okay, we just go back to my conversation. Now, I do use AI as a for giving up ideas. But they, you know, you can use your artist's hand when it comes to composition. You know, you can use digital applications to reorganize images or whatever. So that's all. I don't want to meet. Huh? This is the first one of the series. I'm doing a hold on series. I think I mentioned I'm going to do a show at Harmony Hall, but I think this one was in a direct response to like an over sexualized imagery. So, you know, here we have two listeners. African-American.
What were you trying to convey? Because you said it's your direct, I guess, response to not sexualizing Black women. So what is it that you want people to see when they look at this piece?
I'm just trying to restore the dignity when it comes to seeing us in media in general. And you know, as the series continues, I do kind of jump from story to story, you know, whether I'm trying to restore the image or I'm trying to maybe talk about stories from the past, in terms of our history, you know, in terms of our history as a community.
You know, those are deeper symbols on faces.
I would not say, you know, but it's probably inspired by, you know, African design, African pattern. And the series is going to be called Unapologetic. That's what the show's going to be called. And so, as you see, I am unapologetically referencing perhaps African pattern or the style of African mask. Or just the fact that, you know, I'm apologetically putting our people, in the forefront in terms of telling our story, but in a dignified way. So,
Is it finished?
it sort of looks unfinished, but I think
No,
it's
I'm not saying it looks unfinished. I'm
no,
just-
but I kind of like the way that it's sort of, maybe some places, places like this, there's maybe some radiation here or some, unfinished here, but kind of like the texture look. So if I don't get to a point where I actually get back to it, I'll probably leave it alone.
You
I
said-
do want to render the eyes. Piercing look.
Be careful when you do the eyes because you're automatically drawn to people's eyes.
Absolutely.
So if you do it too much, that's all they're gonna see.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't do more, but just remember that when you do.
Absolutely.
It looks like you're using complementary, like, 'cause this is like blue, orange, and it's like it's really nice. I mean, it's like really nice, because it makes it all, it holds it all together, color wise, because you're using those complementary colors.
It's good, Cuba Claus.
That's probably what we'll call, in terms of my imagining, what pattern would evolve. That was, and trying simultaneously, just keep it kind of modern, contemporary. I don't think you want to over, Africanized pattern. There are other artists who do that. But, when you see this image, I want you to think, okay, these are African women. At the same time, there's a legacy there, patterns. And a pride there. So that's
Beautiful work.
I think you had a question over here.
Oh,
So you talked a lot about using AI to create that, in the beginning. Did you use AI in the sense of creating a sketch and then you, working from the sketch?
A little of both, because depending on your program, you can kind of tell it what to do over and over again and enter different prompts, and then you can manipulate, is what I do, manipulate colors, you manipulate the results, and you kind of, and when I say manipulate, meaning, sketches in Photoshop, and you kind of keep going until you're satisfied on your color, on your composition and your pattern. So like, there's a million ways of coming up with an idea. Just say you want two women, there's a million ways of doing it, or how you want to do it, how you want it to look. But on one hand, you have to tell her what to do, but then on the other hand, you have to retell her what to do until you get what you want. Then you got to go back and sort of manipulate your digital image. You want to do that. Manipulate your color. So it's just like a million, you know what I'm saying? It's just sort of endless. And it's sort of fun that way because the possibilities are endless. And then on top of that, you go back and think.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say.
That's a whole other thing.
This is an acrylic?
Taking it off the computer,
Right.
put it on canvas.
Right.
That takes it to the whole other level.
Exactly. Yeah.
The using of the AI.
And this is an acrylic painting?
So it's a tool. This is the problem. At some point, I might get into mixed media, like some of the architecture. I'm sure we can. But for now, it's just all. use a projector or paint on your screen? I remember this, maybe 20 years ago, I did. Great.
Going back, is that an acrylic painting original, or you took a canvas print and painted it into it?
That's an acrylic painting, original.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, so you mean like this is like canvas print?
That's what we were.
Oh, okay,
We
no.
heard two different
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah, no, no,
I
no.
thought I heard that you painted
No.
an original acrylic.
No.
That was my question on acrylic.
From this one to. Which they got it.
So the AI is what?
I don't think they heard
Mid-term.
midterm.
So this is another one. So I kind of wanted to, let's get into the idea of, dismantling the idea of the negative stereotype that, like I said, you see it all the time.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to get back, go historical with this piece and sort of get into, this is specifically going into the era of Reconstruction, where, well, really, but, Black people ran land, farmed their own land. There's a lot of cooperation there, families, places like Tulsa were built in some places, another thing. And so, again, trying to go back into the idea of there's dignity with our past, we have stories, we have, all type of stories and tales that are not just, Black exploitation stories or criminal,
Yes. Given to.
you know what I'm saying? So again, the series sort of, it might jump back and forth with time, but I guess the whole idea is to try to remind people that, there is a story past. I guess one of my things is, you ask a foreigner, a person who just got to America, what does he think of Black people? 9 times out of 10, they're probably gonna say, what I see is, I see a bunch of rappers, thugs, see women twerking and blah, blah, blah. So this is just another way of, bringing alternative imagery to, a more realistic sort of, imagery of where we're from. But I'm trying to do it in an apologetically sort of Afro-futuristic sort of mode, or even, a sort of African sort of aesthetic. There's Black imagery there, there's a pattern, but, I'm trying to let you know I'm proud of where we come from. At the same time, we do have, narratives.
But you don't have to apologize. No. You don't have to apologize.
Exactly.
You keep sounding like you're apologizing. You don't have to apologize.
Got it.
We are who we are. And you present who we are from your heart, from your soul, from your mind. And all the negativism, you have nothing to do with it.
A lot of those narratives are narratives that were given to and placed on us. And if you didn't become that, you would get, your opportunities would be less. So even some of these guys that are rappers with 10 chains and stuff like that, if they wanted to do conscious rap, they came out starting in conscious rap, there were opportunities that were closed off to them because they wanted to do something positive.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, these are not, these narratives that have been given to us. What you're doing is you're saying, this is mine, narrative, you know, as opposed to somebody placing something on.
Okay.
Unapologetic.
You're beautiful.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, Kamala, next. Kamala.
You know, they even have people on the internet mispronouncing her name.
Oh, man.
Yes, they do. Jamila and I had a fight over your name pronunciation. Thanks to that vice president. That president come later.
You did.
And she went because having that pronunciation on the internet.
Hey, ready.
I've been doing a variety of different series on the transatlantic slave trade to, depending on what I'm reading, and just learning about plants. Mother's mother, grandmother, that had the several green jobs. Whatever she said. They were made, admire her gardens, her house plants, just had this life. And it seemed like I had the opposite. And I thought her daughters, because my mother loved cactus, I can't do that like this, and anything else, because she has a heart on green. But, so I just kept trying, because I just didn't love cactus. So, the more I read about them, you know, there's that now people, I think indigenous people have always understood secret life of plants and their connectedness to roots and everything, you know, their branches touching, reaching out to one another to their roots, and how I think the community, the spirit, and how even they take care of their the elder and the dying, even like a tree that has been shot down, they will still send through their roots energy and water to indicate what that root is there. It's just astonishing. And it has new respect for, well, the indigenous people and how they have respected everything, every living thing, even rocks. That everything has a life that it needs. And it just feels like it's beyond thought of colonization, you know, the world to come and capture and conquer and kill. You know, capture, conquer and kill. It's just never considered anything living, and it's like the birth of suffering. Anyway, I've just done a series of plant life things and the energy trying to evoke the energy that evolves from that. So most of these are very spontaneous, and I'll play with different kinds of things and how to take them, you know, there's a lot of everything. And with that, yeah, just experimenting, a lot of stuff, seeking through seeing. This is a series that I started with, that came out of the project 2020 that I had started working with
of visa and Canadian students and, several others, remarkable women. And one of the pieces, Bible, was a square that second sold, to her focus on. And, as well as getting this book and trying to problem solve what works with each person's individual thing. And it helped really expand my horizons. Just, I just appreciate that. So this was a result of one of them. And I started doing the square based on, what I done with my book. And this one I was trying to create, almost like a quilt. So I'll be combining the pieces together in some kind of way, and each square would represent, like, can you hold it? Kind of a different, yeah, kind of a self-exploratory thing, like a different part of myself. Indian and African American, so, and I'm wearing, what I look like an Indian family, so, everyone's wearing beautiful saris, you know, amazing Indian fabrics with vibrant colors and gold and glitter and, you know, especially as a child, it's just like, it's just magical. You walking around magical forest of women with these incredible colors. And couldn't wait for me to get old enough to wear my own sari. Actually, my father taught me how to wrap it. But, so a lot of these with the more brilliant kind of, you know, that with the fabrics, because I've been doing, tiny things, fabrics, thread. And I also use, just found things around. This one has more African American, I'm labeled for some Juneteenth, I'm working on that. And, I find myself cutting up refuse and scraps and stuff in packaging that I always admired, those also grab art. The packaging, the labeling, the quality, the packaging. And while I'm cutting up folders and magazines and things and start to paint with it. Just looking at the patterns. The page from somewhere. And looking at how each color represents its lighting so that it threads into the weave into one.
You can do that as a quilt.
Mhm.
You can do that as a quilt.
Well, yeah,
You can sew them together.
yeah, I thought about, because I haven't thought of the final, how I'm gonna connect it.
That's how you can,
But yeah, because this is on target,
right,
on target. Right.
with any kind of paper you can sew, so don't, you know,
Yeah, and I thought about it in that way, if I do, it's almost like you're binging move. Yeah, I wasn't quite thinking of shackling them down to a really solid shape, because I do like it kind of maybe.
Yeah, and they will fold,
Right,
come out.
But
yeah,
little holes and just,
I thank you for that, because part of me was wondering if I just put
just stuff
like metal rings.
No,
thread, thread or yarn, some kind of thread or
Leather
thread.
velvet, you know, for earrings.
No, stop.
no.
Put a needle, no,
Just so.
a needle, thread, stuff.
And, okay, so I was thinking about crisscross,
You can do that.
yeah.
You know, treat it like it's a piece, I'll show you. Treat it like a piece of leather.
Yeah.
Or just punch the little holes in and sew. And that'll be a wonderful quilt. When you said that, that's what came to mind.
Thank you. It looks really flat in the beginning, but I definitely. Stuff myself, I'm not just beautiful, it's never finished either, I just like to take the kind of.
It's a bunch of stuff, it's acrylic, mostly acrylic paint, inks, it's a whole bunch of stuff. And a lot of oil and crap. And the last one I brought is, a drawing I've been working on. I took this hiatus from teaching, but I teach art students. And I took a hiatus for a few years during the pandemic. Or after. And, I started a typical job, part-time job. And they put me in 3G when I wanted to raise money. And they certified me in their having dropped it. So I'm glad this is working with these amazing women. Lots of life and teens, preteen, on up, and just listening to some fascinating stories of women. And you know, you get into a tiny little dressing room and you're fitting someone for a bride. And I can't imagine the trust they must have, you know, to strip down and the stranger fitting you for a bride, you know. But I like to think I made them feel comfortable. I'm confident enough and fit right. When you know they want the right bra and what you know get the right. Damn. It's a life check. I remember you changed my life. Being like this man that was straight now, and for God, what's the remarkable thing and be comfortable. Men don't get that. Anyway, through a lot of the stories, this came home when I was sketch, and this one is about womanhood. Thinking women might connect with it a little bit more, depending on how you read the story. And I was experimenting, I started experimenting with those new graphite pencils that are flat, they don't get the shininess, they're matte graphite pencils. They are remarkable, because you know, if you would tilt a graph, it would be shiny, you know, and I do like that part sometimes, but this, I was trying to experiment to get a really deep dark. I've also added powdered graphite in there too, which also gives you flat pen. So this came out of the experimental. And the red is emblematic of life force that women shed with months. And also those who go through menopause, you know, it's kind of like that last one escaping, you know, type of thing. So.
Please,
Thank you.
that glass, please.
Oh, yeah, and before you go out, I just wanted to tell you that there's a new book on the market. It's called Beauty Born in Struggle, the Art of Black Washington. And this is like the beginning, and how I keep telling y'all that there's a huge story to be told here.
Let me see that.
This is one chapter. So, and so artists in this area are starting to understand the bigger story here.
Is it who wrote that?
It is a combination of lectures that were given at the National Museum of Art. When they did that big conference, they took the papers and made it into a full album. Yeah, so Lillian Burwell, I mean, people that you know are in here.
Are you in
And
there?
this is just the beginning.
Yeah, Miller's my Miller was my former 2D teacher.
Now, this is another exhibition that just came down at Phillips, the African modern in America. And again, there were lots of artists from right here. And this is a continuum. This is a continuum. There's books here. Because, you know, this whole thing of putting together African, placing Africa in our work started with Elaine Locke talking about it in the philosophy department at Howard. And then that translated to all of the different poets like Zora Neale Hurston, the writers, Langston Hughes, and it was turning up in art here.
And then
in
David
Washington,
Driscoll, of course,
DC.
is,
David Driscoll.
exposure, yeah.
It goes all the way out, and then it goes to different parts of the
Said
world.
1-6.
So this is just like the beginning, and this is why I keep telling you, document your work. Because it's going to be a time when they're going to have to, the canon is going to have to acknowledge this, and all the people that are in that line will be acknowledged, but you gotta have your stuff documented or nobody will know you were here. So, you know.
Yeah, I went to the lecture for this African monument curator. They were talking about how a lot of African and African American artists don't get into major museums or perspective. A lot of documentation.
See why? Her.
Giselle.
Yes.
If anybody else wants to pay their dues, just let me know.
Can I do that?
Yeah,
How do I do it?
you got a credit card?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Come back.
you did?
You email,
So.
Yeah. Let me see. My pen. All right.
Yeah, you were on the last, one of the.
Oh, yeah.
February 9th, February 10th.
I think we're gonna make it. There's something funny in February.
There's a lot of openings.
Like the old. Yeah. please.
Anybody want to take some pay back with them, please, coming in, okay?
Month later.
Okay. And you want to email or text?
Yeah, email would be great. Type it in, it's a long one.
Okay, you can just take your time. You don't need to stay.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Either way,
Thank you for sending me all the information so I can go.
okay.
was really
I hope
good to
it
come
was what you expected.
Well, I'm signing up. I really didn't know what to expect. I've never been to anything like this before.
Oh, okay.
See other people's art, talk
Yep.
about my art.
And we do a combination of closed meeting. Takes a while.